Flix Yourself.
Hey everybody, it's another episode of Go Flix Yourself. My name is Ben Konowitz, and with me as always is the airborne to my good night's sleep, Bradford Oman.
Hey, that's me.
Woo!
I'm gonna die.
And we're gonna call you the zinc capsule, Nate Loucks.
I would call me the healthy to the Brad, whatever that is. That
Yeah,
you got,
buddy. We know you're very sick, and we thank you very much.
Welcome
for
back from Utah.
Tuning in.
I didn't want to miss out on the fun. I still wanted to contribute in some way. It'll be limited contributions, which will probably excite a lot of people.
Why though? You sound so healthy.
Well, I decided to take up smoking.
Crystal meth.
not gonna lie, bad idea.
How many times have you cried being sick now?
Oh gosh, I feel so sick. It's the kind of sickness where, like, when you just lay in bed and moan to yourself, it feels comforting.
Yeah. One of the things that you said though before we started this podcast is you wouldn't probably talk too much, and I think that's a gift to our listeners. So, Ben, how are you, buddy?
Hey, man, I'm really good. One of the nice things is A, Brad doesn't want to talk a lot tonight, and B, he's not even here.
Nope, it's just you and me in the studio
recording remotely, and
Don't make me come over there and cough on you.
This is by far the new format. I'm really digging this.
Well, 2 weeks in a row, I think this is standard operating procedure.
SOPs, baby, all day long. But hey, first-time listeners, this is a movie podcast where we talk about the latest movies that we have assigned each other, as always, and the last movies we've seen. So we'll talk about some trailers. It's a good old shenanigan-filled fun hour. Okay.
A real hoot.
Okay.
A hoot nanny.
We're gonna need you to just calm that one down there, Brad. I like this a lot. Brad, I know that you're a little under the weather, buddy, but by chance, did you happen to bring a sponsor?
Perchance,
I got several sponsors today. And Ben, it's the holiday season. It's also flu season.
So whoop-de-doo, a dickory dock.
Flu season is when everything gets magical because you have to ingest all sorts of medicine to keep yourself at bay. And so several sponsors today. I'm just going to give a shout out to NyQuil, Mucinex DM for keeping it real, Tylenol, always maximum strength with the acetaminophen, and also the prescriptions I got today, doxycycline, and another one for my cough, which I don't remember the name. So there's the delicious pills.
Thanks, Pfizer.
Any of them giving you a good high, are they?
No.
You don't even get the sweet relief of a good high.
They give me a good sleep.
Give you a slight reprieve from the symptoms of being flu-like.
Yes, and okay. It seriously sucks. Like, this is a nasty flu that's going around like everywhere. Apparently, it feels like one of the worst sicknesses I've had besides COVID and a time when I had strep throat like 5 years ago.
We feel really bad for you here in the studio.
No, don't blow smoke on my ass.
I'm fine. Brad, why don't you go first so you can get it out of the way and then not talk? What's the movie that we prescribed you, buddy?
Ben, as always, you're very thoughtful in your selection for me.
I am.
So you picked a movie where the dad dies, which I really appreciate.
When he dies when? Around Christmas time.
Yeah, like literally just before Christmas.
And when did your dad die?
After Christmas.
Okay, so then this is not the same then. This is very different.
Anyway, he had me watch Jack Frost, which is just a terrible movie.
And we're not talking about the horror film Jack Frost.
By the way, no, this is the comedy holiday comedy Jack Frost with a little bit of heartstring pulling, where Michael Keaton plays a guy who leads this band. It's called the Jack Frost Band, funnily enough. And they also do this bluesy rendition of Frosty the Snowman, which gets them a record deal, apparently. Big deal there. And then when he has to go have a meeting to finalize this record deal on Christmas Day, when he tries to get back to his family's cabin, he gets into a car accident and dies. That's it.
Roll credits.
So what happens is, through this magical harmonica, not joking,
not even joking right now,
Michael Keaton comes to inhabit a snowman that his son has built 1 year after his father's death, and then a bunch of shenanigans ensue. And boy, just what a terrible juxtaposition of like emotion and just silly slapstick holiday comedy. Like, I don't even know what anyone was smoking while making this movie.
What year did this come out?
1998, I think.
And
Yeah,
so
98.
Michael Keaton wasn't necessarily at the top of his game at that point. He was kind of not really going through a resurgence yet.
Yeah, this was.
I mean,
this
it
was definitely
it was
like
certainly
a low
not
point.
like he was starting over.
No, but this was, I remember, like, this is, he had big hits in the early 90s with Multiplicity and obviously Batman Returns and everything. But then this is the late 90s where he kind of fell off a little bit before he came back.
Yeah, like, and honestly, I feel like Jack Frost is what did it, because just before, just before Jack Frost, he had done Jackie Brown and Out of Sight. So
I mean, he
was
did
still.
Multiplicity in 1996. So it wasn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Yeah.
this really was the tail end of his career.
Yeah, so
This was
he
the first of like a bad run of movies for him.
He was roughing it, and yeah, it's so weird, and like. I guess kudos to like the Jim Henson Company though, because like they did like practical puppetry for some of the stuff, and that looks fine. But like also early CG, and it's not hard to do a CG snowman that looks kind of cartoonish. But yeah, I mean, it's just there's so many.
If I remember right, this CG is really, really terrible, right? I mean, it's like also
Honestly,
kind of scary. Like
no,
You're
no,
thinking of
it's
the
not-
other Jack Frost.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not
horrible.
downright terrible, because like it's pretty simple what they do. But because they have to basically make it mimic like what the puppet looks like, and it's not downright terrible. I've seen far worse CG.
I think it
in a
has.
lot of
I think
movies.
if I remember right, though, it has like eyebrows, and that's always threw me off because a snowman shouldn't have eyebrows.
But that's what gives it emotion.
Yeah.
I know, but it just shouldn't. Have you ever put eyebrows on a snowman that you've built?
No, but I put the carrot down low like a penis.
That checks out. That checks
They
out.
made an interesting choice to give him a cork nose instead of a carrot nose. I'm not sure what the reasoning was there, but
The National Cork Association got to him.
To our listeners, we did purposely like give each other bad Christmas movies this week. And is this going to make it into the regular rotation of your Christmas movie watching?
yeah, it'll probably be the first one I watch. I
Just like
I
to set
love-
the bar real low.
Yeah, I love it. I love this movie. What's crazy is the guy who directed this, Troy Miller, I think his name is.
Yep.
He is a very like well regarded and experienced TV director. Like he's directed basically any comedy series you've loved over the past 2 decades, if not more. He's directed a few episodes of. So he's got plenty of experience. I don't know what he was thinking taking this on, but
Oh, practical puppetry. You had me at practical puppetry. Nate, what about you, buddy? What did Brad have you watch?
Well, I want to officially apologize to
Yeah.
my buddy Ben, who I called
Wow.
out on the Facebook.
Aggressive, by the way.
I'm mad that I watched this movie. Actually, I'm mad because this was such a terrible,
But
terrible
he
movie.
you tagged me saying like, "How dare you, Ben
'Cause
Konowitz?"
This seems like
make-
a movie you would make me watch.
But I
But you
didn't.
didn't. This was a movie that my former friend Brad made me watch because this is such a terrible movie. And I like cheesy, corny, awful movies. Doesn't even fit that. It's not even like a well-made cheesy movie. It is awful. So I watched this movie from 1996 called Santa with Muscles, starring the legendary film actor Hulk Hogan.
now, because of his recent history with racism, I can understand why you probably thought Ben would give you this movie.
Oh my God! Fuck right off.
He did give us Fat Man, so I mean, we had the whole Max Landis problem.
Oh boy.
This came out in 1996. Let me give you a little bit of a backstory of what else came out in 1996. Jingle All the Way, another film for Christmas that was much, much better than this. Independence Day, a film that, again, most of us loved, came out.
Probably a better Christmas movie, even though it didn't have anything to do with
Mission
Christmas.
Impossible, probably not a better movie. Fargo, Evita, Jerry Maguire, and Space Jam all came out in 1996. I saw all of those films. I have not seen this film, so I was excited to watch it. I think I watched it on Freevee, maybe. It was one of the apps on my Fire Stick that shows free movies for commercials. But essentially, the theme of this movie I couldn't barely describe to you. So it stars Hulk Hogan, who is a wealthy, muscly guy who has made his wealth off of like protein and.
So far, you're with me.
weightlifting
Go
things.
ahead. I mean, I'm on board so far.
The movie starts off as if you're in a war film and he's fighting bad guys, but he's not. He's not. He's fighting the people that work for him, and it never really explains why he's doing that. He just is like he's a wealthy guy that has no time, so he has trained his very stereotypical helpers, like that have very stereotypical accents. He's a chef. He has a French accent. He's not really French, but he has a French accent. And then what happens is he bumps his head and it gets amnesia. And he gets found by, and I'm going to have a hard time describing this because it is as crazy as you might think. So he meets the guy. What is the actor's name from? He was in that 70s show. I can't remember his name, but that's the character. He was an actor from that 70s show. Mila Kunis is in it too, oddly enough. It's her first acting debut. But he meets this guy, and this guy owes these people money, and so. Oh,
is it the guy that played her father?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know.
I don't know his name.
Sure.
He's not big enough to know his name, but that's how I recognized him from.
He's
like
Red Foreman's
He had
neighbor.
a big enough part in there that I recognized him. The movie, weaves us through a story of a guy that thinks he might be Santa, but he's not. Hulk Hogan is this guy, by the way. And he ends up at this orphanage because there's still orphanages in this world in 1996.
Of course.
Or 1998, whenever this came out. There are 3 kids there that have not been adopted. Mila Kunis is one of them. And then the kid actor from Picket Fences. Do you guys remember the show Picket Fences?
No.
It was from the 90s. It was good. He's in it too. And he ends up then fighting the bad guys played by Ed Begley Jr., who I actually really like. I like Ed Begley Jr. a lot. But he's not great in this because nobody's great in this.
So Brad Oman and I, once upon a time, did a little stand-up comedy back in
I can't even describe this movie,
2013, 2014. We did this thing called Down in Front, where we would take a bad movie and make fun of it, much like Mystery Science Theater 3000. And we did this at the Drop Comedy Club back in the day. We made fun of Santa with muscles. So I've seen this 3 or 4 times, actually, and so has Brad, to do like bits about this. And you can do a lot of bits because this movie is freaking terrible.
It is. I think, and I was trying to do because I've seen some bad movies. I think I would say it's the worst movie I've ever seen. It is awful.
And do you think that's probably because it's Christmas related? And
I love Christmas movies.
You revere Christmas so much.
And here's the thing, though. I love Christmas movies a lot, and I like even bad Christmas movies. I mean, I love the movie Prancer, right?
Prancer's not terrible.
Not at all. But
fine.
Nobody thinks it's a great movie.
No, it's not an all-timer.
And I do love it. I watch it every year at least once. This is just awful. There was nothing about it. It wasn't really Christmassy, though he was Santa, but it didn't feel Christmassy because it was in Hollywood. What I loved about it too, so it has like very 90s stunts in it, right? But what I love about it is the stunts and like the driving scenes, because there's a couple scenes where they're in cars and stuff like that. All of the streets are empty in this town because clearly they didn't have enough money in this film to like
any other stunt drivers whatsoever. So clear it
like a mile ahead, and they're in this city, clearly a city, and there's nobody in front of them. And I'm like, oh, this is so terrible. And then another thing I noticed too is in this time in the 90s, the actors had not all fixed their teeth yet.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So their teeth were not perfect. And so I noticed that as well. I am forever mad at Brad for giving me this movie because he ruined Christmas.
Great job, Brad. I'm really proud of you, buddy.
But hold on, like, did you appreciate that Santa had muscles?
No, because I don't love a strong Santa. I like a Santa that has a vision for life. I like a Santa.
What does that mean?
I'm just saying, like a leader, a good leader.
How did you feel about the Italian caricatures?
Awful. It was just so awful. It was all awful, and like the accents were all terrible. The whole like finding the secret thing underneath the church orphanage, whatever that was, it was just awful. If you sing at a certain pitch or a certain song, then the fairies hear it.
Yeah,
I'm not lying to you guys. This is all in the movie. It's awful. Don't watch this movie. Don't watch this movie.
If you don't like Santa with muscles, then what are you going to do about J.K. Simmons?
Oh, he is a beefcake. J.K. Simmons.
Are you even going to watch that movie?
I mean, I didn't like the movie Santa with
What movie are you talking about, Ben?
Oh, I don't know the title of it.
Yeah, what is it?
It's with The Rock.
I sent it to you guys, but I sent it with I just wanted you guys to see J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, no, you just sent the photo of him lifting weights. He looks amazing.
Yeah.
What is that movie, Brad?
I don't know. That's what I was asking.
Oh, really?
It's a Christmas movie that they're working on.
Sorry. Yeah. The Rock and J.K. Simmons are working out a Christmas movie.
It's called Red One.
Red One, of course it is.
Brad and I didn't like our movies that we were assigned to us. I, though, gave Ben a good movie to watch, and because I know he's a fan of the Madea series, but you had not seen a Madea Christmas, right?
I have never seen any Tyler Perry Madea movies. I've never seen.
Why
one
not?
of them.
Why haven't you seen them?
I just it's not my wheelhouse.
Why not?
I'm not into the Tyler Perry comedies, much like I'm not into farts in my face. I just think that
That's not true. I know you've gotten pink eye before.
I mean, I thought going in, I thought that these movies were like the clumps or like the fatties from the from Tropic Thunder. I just thought it was all like, oh, I'm a bad person. Screw you. I didn't know anything about these movies. I just thought that it was literally all just like fall down fart jokes.
By the way, this is the only film of the three that we're talking about that actually made money.
No, Madea, I didn't hate this movie. I really didn't. I watched it and I was expecting to loathe my experience.
It has a very low Rotten Tomatoes score.
Oh, I get it. I understand why. It's not, the movie itself is not good. But I will give Tyler Perry credit. After the first like 5 to 10 minutes of seeing him on screen and kind of like understanding the character, because again, I don't know anything about this character. Once I started listening to the actual words that he was using in some of these rants that it became okay. Just get me to the next one where he's kind of going off on somebody, because those are pretty funny. And I remember thinking there's a lot of really clever insults. There's a lot of really clever jokes that he was throwing out there pretty fast. I was laughing decently hard at a lot of the stuff that he was doing. The movie itself, the structure, the narrative, it's almost like the Christmas with the Campbells movie, Brad, where they just write a standard movie and then they have him go in and improv a bunch of like, bullshit jokes at each other. That's kind of what it
cheesy
feels
Christmas
like.
movie and just put Madea right in the middle.
Exactly, and that's what it is. So I thought that there were definitely some really funny rants that he had, and overall I didn't hate it because of that.
Have you seen this film, Brad?
No, like Ben, I have not seen any of the Madea movies. And
hey, guess what you're going to be seeing after Christmas? All the Madea movies.
Don't count on it. Don't count on it.
No, it was better than I thought it was going to be, just because there were some redeeming qualities of the rant style based humor that I didn't see coming. So that was, and I'm sure now that I've seen it though, I'm not sure that I'm going to love anything else that he does, because it's probably more of the same as my guess.
Oh, it is I think a very familiar.
But I did tell Bailey, we were sitting there watching it, and I go, oh man, like 2 minutes in, and now of course I didn't see any of the cast. I didn't know. I went in totally blind, and I go, great, there's gonna be a bunch of fart jokes, fall down humor, and I bet you Larry the Cable Guy shows up at one point, and like halfway through the movie, Larry the Cable Guy shows up.
Whoa! Spoiler alert!
As of the father of a guy, and it's I laughed pretty hard at that little connection.
So we'd love to hear from you. What is a terrible Christmas movie that Brad should watch? Put it in the comments of our podcast. We'd love to hear from you, because I'm done watching terrible ones.
Well, don't worry. This next one, I have to give you a movie, and I'll make sure that it's not a bad one. Okay, buddy?
And Nate, this is what you get for watching all of the Christmas movies of your own volition. Like there's so few choices.
Well, I gave you Christmas movies. I gave you a list of films I have not seen, and you did not.
You told me like 3 movies, and then I thought, oh, wait a minute, this movie exists.
Yes, exactly. I gave you 3 movies that I've wanted to see that are Christmas movies. I'm like, hey, what about these? I have not seen these. And you're like, nah, Santa with muscles, it is.
I think it worked out.
I also watched, I did watch Christmas with the Campbells, Brad.
Yeah, what did you think of it?
I thought it was fine. I didn't.
You think it was the funniest thing in the world, like Brad does?
I just wasn't over the moon with it. I just,
oh my god!
No, and I'm not saying this to be a shitty. I really did respect what they were trying to do. I just thought it was way too much on the normal holiday stuff, nowhere near enough comedy. Like,
it needed more silliness.
They really should have ramped it up more. I get what they were trying to do, but man, there was so many. Like, Bailey was not watching this with me. She walked in for about 5 minutes. And there was a good 5 minutes where it was just kind of down homey, not really over the top funny. Yep. And she goes, what is this? This is not good. And I was like, well, it's kind of like, you got to see what they're doing. Justin Long's pretty good as this kind of folksy, I don't know. It's just so weird, but they never escalated it to the point where I was really laughing out loud.
Do you think Brad has ruined his film reviewing reputation by highly recommending this film to the masses.
No, I don't think so. I think that he never had a reputation to begin with, so I don't really think that it mattered.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, I mean, I get what they were trying to do. I just wish there was just more, maybe just more to it.
You just wish they would have done it a little bit better, right? Because
Ben, would you have enjoyed it more if Justin Long walked in and said, "Oh, hello"?
Yeah, probably. Actually, that would have been hilarious. Did you see him, Madea? He's the guy in a wig. And he's this big guy, and he's like, "Oh, hello." It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
So, Christmas with the Campbells. See it. Brad loves it. Ben and I were okay with
Tepid.
it. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It was fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. It's fine.
Bro, what else did you see, Brad?
I watched DC League of Super Pets.
Oh, what'd you think? I've seen that.
I enjoyed it for the most part. The one thing that I wish that they would have done, though, was pull back on the pop culture like gags and stuff that they inject into it. I wish that they would have stayed a little bit more in like the world they created, because like it's a version of Metropolis that feels like classic Superman, but then like they injected a little bit too much like contemporary style and like songs and stuff into it, and that always kind of took me out of it. But I thought it was really enjoyable. It's really funny. You know, the animal characters are great. Like the ensemble is great together. It's infinitely better than Black Adam, which is something that probably Dwayne Johnson will probably appreciate hearing.
Oh man, have you seen? Of course, you've seen, Brad, the tap dancing around and like him trying to like salvage that it's making good money, and it's like The Rock. You don't need to do this, man. You really don't.
I think he goes by the Dwayne now.
Well, it's so weird to me to see him tweeting out actual numbers like, we did 400 million. Captain America only did 370. We're building something here. It's like, whoa.
I mean, they have done 400 million. I don't know how.
To be fair, the initial report that came out was wrong, and it had some bad numbers in it. And so like there was some correction that wasn't just studio damage control. It's still not like a massive success or anything like that. But like, on one hand, like, it sucks because like, he's been wanting to do this for so long and he's put so much work into it, and it
he really does care about this.
And that does set it apart. It would be like if Deadpool shit the bed and then Ryan Reynolds was like, but we made 400 million. It's fine.
But yeah, so DC League of Super Pets is pretty good. It's streaming on HBO Max. Kate McKinnon is especially really funny in it as the villain, and yeah, it's a good time. I assume you liked it.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. I'll say that. Good. I thought that it was one of those films, though, that the trailer was better than the film. Like, I got really excited for it when the trailer came out. I thought it could be really, really good because I liked the whole idea of it behind it. I was kind of like you. The execution sometimes didn't work perfectly for me, but it wasn't a bad film at all. It just wasn't. I think I had higher hopes for it than it actually executed. My kids... It's not one that they've asked to watch again either. So usually the great
it's a pretty big litmus test then.
Yeah.
Brad, was this one, and Nate, I'll ask you the same question. Stunt casting as far as voices, right? We always talk about that. Were these actors appropriately cast, or was it just like a lot of big names like they do?
It worked pretty well for the most part, in my opinion. At first, I wasn't convinced that Dwayne Johnson was the best fit for Crypto, but he kind of grew on me as time went on. But the rest of the ensemble, Vanessa Bayer, Diego Luna, Natasha Lyonne especially, oh my God, her character, Merton, I think is his name. She's a turtle. She's the best part of the movie by far. Hilarious. Every single thing she says in the movie is absolutely hilarious.
And Kevin Hart has a kind of a voice for voice acting. I think he does fairly well. I think he does better than Dwayne Johnson does, actually. I thought it was fine. You could tell, the main characters are the human characters that they're like. The Batman is played, I think, by, is it John Krasinski or something?
No, it's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, Superman is played by John Krasinski. So yes. they pair those up with famous actors. I thought it was fine. The voice acting did not take it out for me. It was just like kind of for me, it was kind of like Pets, the movie Pets. Like, it was fine. It was good. You
mean Secret Life of Pets?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah. There was nothing wrong with it.
Nate
It was
Loucks,
fine.
big Louis C.K. fan.
Yeah, don't project onto me. But there was nothing about it that stood out to me. Let's say like a Pixar film would,
Because I remember like watching the trailer for like Angry Birds, and it was like Jason Sudeikis is the red bird. It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
so weird.
It was
Jason
better.
Sudeikis had a hand in creating that character for Angry Birds.
Cool.
I'm just kidding. I'm the blatant lie.
You're
It's a
just
blatant
making
lie.
things up now.
That's
Yeah.
a blatant lie. He was paid $13 million.
I also watched Samaritan.
Oh, you finally watched it. What did you think?
I did. I enjoyed it. It's,
I did too.
Me too.
And kind of in spite of its flaws, because like it really feels like it's a movie that should have come out in 1998.
Yeah, I can see
like
that.
It has like the exact vibe of Shaquille O'Neal's Steel, except Sylvester Stallone is a much better actor than Shaquille O'Neal.
And that's saying something.
But it has that exact same kind of vibe to it. This kid who's like kind of gets caught up with the wrong people every now and then. These like young teen criminals, and then there's this guy who's trying to bring back this like the vibe of the supervillain who supposedly Sylvester Stallone's Samaritan took down years ago, and then Samaritan has been presumed dead after all these years. And then this kid realizes that Sylvester Stallone is this super strong dude, and it goes from there. And like his kind of return to the public eye, I guess, if you will. There's some interesting twists and turns that I wasn't expecting, which made it a little bit more fun. But pretty good, not great.
I think this better kid to superhero vibe than Black Adam.
Oh yeah, for sure. The kid was way better.
Yeah, and it was kind of I think did it come out on Prime Video? I forget.
Yeah.
Yes.
It felt for me like a perfect movie to come out on a streaming service, right? It wasn't a great film. Yeah, I didn't feel like I needed to see it in the theater, but it was a film that I was really glad that I got to watch on Amazon Prime.
It would have been probably, like Brad said, like from the producers of Demolition Man and Daylight comes Samaritan.
Yeah.
That would have been 1998. Would have been a good year for this one, but pretty good. Nate, how about you? See anything else besides your standard Christmas fare?
No, I don't think I've watched anything new this week. I'm watching the Sex Lives of College Girls. Is that what it is? It's a Mindy Kaling show. I caught up on that. That was funny. No, I mean honestly, my kids are now in the stage where we're watching like our favorite Christmas movies, Elf,
Sure.
These kind of films, and so we're getting closer and closer to Christmas, so we want to watch all of those. But and then Santa with Muscles, which took years off my life.
It just took 3 years.
What about you? Did you watch anything good?
I mean, obviously, Medea's Christmas was good. We played Christmas movies at the arcade all weekend, and so I had them up on the projector. So I was around about 7 different Christmas movies. I obviously only watched bits and pieces here and there, but one night we went through and they on Disney Plus they had a special collection of all the Simpsons Christmas episodes. So I just went through and watched, and I did actually get to see quite a few of those. Simpsons, for a lot of those younger listeners to the podcast, Simpsons Roasting Over an Open Fire was the very first episode of The Simpsons ever, back in '89, I believe. And so that is a very classic Christmas episode before Dan Castellaneta had like finalized the Homer voice, and it's a little different. We have a Simpsons pinball machine from 1990 at the arcade featuring all those voices that are not the real voices. They're just the actors still trying to find their way. So it's very, very weird to hear Homer, when the ball gets hit and he says, "Go." It's like, okay, well, that's not the voice, but okay, that's fine.
It's like a very like
subdued.
Weird,
yeah.
Doe.
Boy, get over here. We're going to talk.
Hey, I do have a question for you guys about Santa with Muscles. Because now I'm thinking about this. Okay, so this movie was produced by a guy named Jordan Belfort. Who is that?
That's the Wolf of Wall Street.
That is correct. The Wolf of Wall Street, who Leonardo DiCaprio played in The Wolf of Wall Street, produced that movie.
Well, he was probably trying to get his finger in a lot of different things back then.
I'm guessing there was a lot of money that was probably put into this movie that went back into his pocket somehow.
What?
You know what? Good for him.
Talk about an underdog story.
Yep.
He really needed to get a win in the late 90s, I'm sure. Oh my goodness. Hey, Brad. Hey, Brad.
Brady.
Yeah, what's up?
Brady, are you alive?
You okay? We're just checking in, buddy. Just doing a welfare check.
Buddy.
What?
Let's talk about some trailers.
All right.
Trailer time. Trailer time. Talking. Trailer time. Oh, cheesing, guys.
All right, we got one good trailer that I'm excited about, one not so good that I wasn't.
Go ahead and lead us in, Mr.
All right, so let's talk about this one because it just released today. We're recording this on Tuesday because Brad's sick and we had to push back to Tuesday. I mean, it's just not good right now for us. I think
it's great.
All right.
That's actually not why we pushed back.
Let me blame you for everything right now, please. All right.
It was my fault, but it was for a different reason.
And also, by the way, like he's over here blaming you for the reschedule, blaming me for the movie you made him watch. Nate, you're all over the map tonight, buddy.
Hey, let me speak my truth.
Santa Claus is not going to bring you anything good for Christmas.
All right. So we watched the trailer to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse that just released today. This is the animated Spider-Man, the sequel to the Spider-Man that came out in 2019 roughly? Is that right, Brad? When did
in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah. So it's based on the Miles Morales character, and honestly, love this trailer. Let me say, this trailer again, as listeners of this podcast know. Dead mom here. I love this. It's about essentially the most of the trailer is about Miles Morales and his mom is talking to him about not losing his identity. And I loved that part of it. The dialogue was very good. What I don't understand about this film, and Brad, maybe you know something that I don't. Why wasn't Peter Ramsey brought back? I love Peter Ramsey. He actually did a Christmas film. But why wasn't he brought back for the second Spider-Verse?
I'm honestly not sure why, and I don't remember if
he's an executive producer, so I know he's still involved, but
I think that he might have had another project happening at the same time, and maybe could not do both at the same time because he's going to be so busy. But I don't know.
Bad that I always just think he was probably at the insurrection.
No, I follow him on Twitter.
You find
I
shit out like
guarantee
that.
he was not at the insurrection.
Okay, good.
Very much not. But I actually really love him, and I was sad to not see that. But the film seems very, very similar in tone, and it is a very specific tone these films have. Very specific animation. Phil Lord and Chris Miller still wrote this, I think. Is that right, Brad? I think.
Yes, I believe so. And also this one's supposed to have 6 different animation styles as well.
Yeah, there were more animators working on this film. I read over 1,000 animators worked on this film than any other animated film ever. It is going to be, I think, a visual piece of art. I mean, just a piece of art. It is going to be amazing, and I am excited because at the first one I went in really not knowing much about it and not expecting much. I thought I was just taking my kids to an animated film, and I took them to one of the best Marvel films I have seen,
and it gets
one of the best animated films of all time.
Yeah,
it really is. It is so good, and I think this is going to carry that legacy on, fully, and I'm very excited about it.
For as much, good.
Just to give credit where credit's due, Dave Callahan also is a co-writer on this movie. He wrote Shang-Chi.
Oh, great! Yeah, that should be great.
For all of the lauding that this movie gets, it isn't necessarily always brought up as far as animated movies, and it really isn't always brought up as comic book movies. It's kind of because it's both. It really is hard when you're talking about top 10 comic book movies of all time. You're not going to say Spider-Verse for some reason, and top 10 animated movies of all time. You're not going to say this for some reason. So I'm not sure
where your sample is coming from there, because the movie definitely had plenty of acclaim and praise for it when it came out. It was
when it came out, sure, but these days I'm saying if you're talking right now and saying,
on a lot of
hey,
lists,
what are your favorite 10 comic book movies? I don't know that anybody would say Spider-Verse.
They should.
I mean,
they should.
Yeah, I maybe regular people, but I know in my circles, a lot of people would definitely put it on their top 10.
Plebeians maybe, but not
right next to Black Adam. Okay, let's keep tooting that horn.
Hey,
Brad.
so
not that good of a movie.
Well, Black Adam is great because he has lightning powers.
So hey guys, so Oscar Isaac is in this film, all right, and this is going to be Oscar Isaac's 4th appearance in a Marvel project. Can you tell me the other 3 appearances that Oscar Isaac had in a Marvel project?
Probably.
Go.
I mean, didn't he play Apocalypse?
That is correct. In what?
In X-Men Apocalypse.
Obviously, he was in Moon Knight.
Correct. Oh, duh.
And then
TV shows.
He did appear in a the credit scene, I believe it was, of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse as the character he's playing in Across the Spider-Verse, which is
Correct.
Miguel O'Hara, or rather Spider-Man 2099.
Correct. That is correct. So this is his 4th project with Marvel, and I'm excited about it because, again, he had that small bit, like you said, was it a mid-credit scene or something like that? Or
Something like that. It was either mid-credits or post-credits, one of the two.
So he's going to have a more featured part in this film. So, and there's just going to be, I guess, a ton. I read up to 240 characters in this. So, obviously,
a lot of them were in the trailer.
Yeah, a lot of them were. What did you guys think of the trailer? Did you like it?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I love this kind of trailer because it's all over the place in the best way. I don't know what it's about necessarily.
Nope.
But it does a great job of showing you what they're about to show you. You know, which is what a trailer really should do. It's just like cracking the can open and giving you a little sip, little taste.
I actually kind of got emotional. Like it was like, because Miles Morales is a teenager that's getting older, right? He's Spider-Man, and his parents know he's Spider-Man now. And the fear of a mother that you're going to lose your identity or you're going to think you're alone.
Right.
I just thought it was a really well-fashioned dialogue and just a really good trailer. Brad, what did you think of the actual trailer?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all in for this. Like, the animation style here is just on point and like elevates it to another level, even above Into the Spider-Verse. And I can't wait to see, the movie. Like, I'm so excited for this because that Into the Spider-Verse was one of my favorite movies of 2018. And I just, I'm sure this is going to be, another home run.
Now, there's rumors that Tom Holland's going to have a voice role in this, and they're going to bring his Spider-Man in here. You think that's going to happen?
Maybe, but like I feel like that since they already did the Spider-Man crossover thing with No Way Home, that they don't need to, because that was also something that they had discussed doing in Into the Spider-Verse, was having a quick gag where they did bring in Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire to do that, but they ended up not being able to, I think, because of scheduling or whatever. So I feel like them trying to do it again would just be like, riding on the coattails of what they already did with No Way Home.
This one's going to focus a little more on Gwen Stacy too, correct? Like it's Haley Steinfeld's character. I think is going to, have almost equal billing in this with Miles Morales. So that should be interesting because I think we're going to see more of her world or more of her kind of universe a little bit more. I cannot wait for this. It comes out June 2nd, 2023, if you're wondering. So
too far away.
I know. Next trailer, Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Releases June 9th, 2023.
Too far away.
Are you guys fans of the Transformers like films? I'll admit this. I liked the first one when it came out. I think in 2007. I liked it. I went to see it. I actually watched Transformers a lot as a kid, so I'm not obsessive about Transformers like culture or characters.
Nate, put the Transformers toy down, please, when you talk about it. That was a really sick that your Transformer is sick,
that was really
Brad.
bad. I think your Transformers died.
Freedom is the right of all sentient.
Oh no. Take your Transformer into the shop and have it repaired immediately.
I am Optimus Subprime.
So I liked that one and I liked Bumblebee, but that's really the only two that I remember loving.
I mean,
I really liking.
I think that's appropriate. Like the first one, it was a spectacle and we hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a great film. I remember liking it.
So the whatever, over the moon to the hilt, whatever the hell they to Grammar the South they go, whatever they're called, all the Michael Bay ones in the middle there.
What are all Michael Bay movies?
Yeah, the first one was fine. He decided to take the premise of the cars, transforming into robots, and then he said, you know what we should do? We should have Skrillex come in and just make this messy as hell and make sure that you don't even see what car parts are there anymore. It's just a lot of machinery.
Yeah.
And
the moving is like you said, it's like a 8-second Skrillex, like
it's way too overproduced.
Like there's way too many parts.
But I will say, honestly, the coolest part of every single one of those movies is when they do transform, like in the middle of like an action scene or something like that. And like, I always think it looks and sounds cool.
So I think this maybe is going to sound really dumb, but I'll say it anyway.
Hey, don't. It hasn't stopped you before.
This movie looks like they're taking that kind of like overcomplication and backing it down a little bit. Like when these things transform, it does really there's the hubcap, there's the fender, there's the headlights. It's a little bit more rudimentary. There's a lot less going on as far as the complexity of the transformations, which actually makes it better, in my opinion.
And Brad, maybe you could describe this film a little bit. It's that like the aliens or whatever that came to the Earth or whatever, some of them came to a jungle, and then instead of looking like vehicles, they look like animals. Is that right?
I'm not super familiar with the Beast Wars side of the Transformers universe, so I don't really know much about them. But I think that's the gist.
I mean, I like the look.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of look cool.
Yeah, I'm not sold on this. I just, I've been.
What do you guys think of Anthony Ramos as a lead guy?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, really?
He's the guy from Hamilton. He's from In the Heights.
Did you see In the Heights?
Huh.
Oh, it's a musical. I liked In the Heights, but you might not.
No, I mean, the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth Transformer movies kind of let me down. So I'm really like, okay, earn my trust back.
Shame on me for This is directed by is it Stephen? Do you pronounce it Capel or Koppel?
I believe it's Capel.
Junior, who also directed
Ted Capel's son.
Creed 2. So maybe.
Hey, I don't know. I'm not saying no to this, but again, I've been let down multiple times, so I just want to.
It does feel like it's more in the vein of Bumblebee than the Michael Bay
I hope so.
prequels.
I hope so. I just, it's the first Transformers film of the 2020s,
and not the last, by the way.
But it wasn't anything I was craving to see another Transformer. Like, I was okay with saying, guys, let's take the decade off. Let's take it off.
I was fine by saying, like, remember when they had those Transformer movies for a while? That was okay a fun time.
Now, I know they make money, and I know that's all it's about, but there was nothing about the Transformers world that I'm like, we've got stories yet to tell, guys.
How many times can the movie end with Optimus Prime having a monologue where he's like, and don't worry, we will be out there among the stars. That's what? Okay.
I believe you are still good.
Humanity can rise above. Optimus Prime out. Well, that's it for the trailers. That's a good look at Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Transformers Rise of Beasts or whatever. What's it called?
Yeah, the beasts are coming.
The beasts are coming for you.
Run!
And remember, our animal friends and ancestors, we will be here watching, waiting, discovering each other.
Ew.
That's pretty good, though.
It turns.
I like it. Yeah.
Well, guys, I think we're just going to wrap it up here. Brad, you've been a trooper for being with us. Thank you, buddy, for honestly still doing this.
We need our litter, Brad.
It is the most fun I have all week. So thanks for.
It was harder than I thought.
Yeah. Well, that's what you say all the time.
Don't you die on us. Don't you die on us. All right. You get yourself better. Get some soup in you, because soup makes you feel better. And get back here next week when we record. All right.
Soup.
Yep, no, he's lost it. He's officially lost it. Well, Nate, thanks for being here. Brad, thank you so much for being here. And like and rate and subscribe, guys. You find us on all the podcast channels. Comment on Facebook. Send us an email. Like, do the things that get a hold of us. We love you. We love hearing feedback. So this was another episode of Go Flix Yourself. Bye, everybody.
Here come the beasts.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Nah, cheating, eh?